Okay, we're going now to using multiple parameters where you don't always want to specify all of them. So sometimes you don't want to give all parameters because most of the time they're the same, and this program shows you how to use default function arguments. And we have over here a function display stars, and we get two integers. One is 1 and the other one is 10, and these are the default values. If none have been specified, these values 1 and 10 are going to be used. And this is what it does. The function displays a square made of asterisks, and it receives an integer for the rows, an integer for the columns, and then over here we have a nested loop with over here first the rows, and then over here a loop for the columns. And by the way, let's do the same thing again that we've been doing before, because it will also make it clear when we are actually going to the next line. And that's probably a good example of why you want to use those curly brackets, because in the previous situation, it was not completely clear if the cout was included in the loop or not. So we're going back over here to the more correct code. So anyway, this is a nested for loop again. Over here on the inner loop, we're going to print on one row just a little star and then go on. At the end of the row, we just go to the next line, and then we're going to start the next row again. So the outer loop controls the rows, the inner loop controls the columns, and after you're done with the square over here, then you're also going to go to a new line to give it a little bit of space. Otherwise we would have all the squares come right after one another. Anyway, so how are we going to make these function calls? Well, you see it over here with different combinations and one impossible combination. I'm going to run this program. And I'll give it some more space so you can see all the output. So over here, the first call is to display stars, and you know that the default it has 1 row and 10 columns. If we don't specify any parameters, then we use the default values for the rows and the columns, so we have 1 row of 10 columns. If we specify only the first one, the 5, then only the first parameter has been specified. You use 5 for the rows, this becomes 5, and over here you stay with the default of 10. So you have 5 rows of 10 stars, and that's here. If you do display stars 7 and 3, you specify them both. For the rows you make it 7, for the columns you make it 3. You have 7 rows of 3 stars. That's this one. And then if you would try to skip the first one and only do the second one, you see immediately that you have over here a little red squiggle, and the error message says expect an expression, some value. It isn't there, so this is not going to work. So this is how you can work with default function arguments.